We've noticed a significant decrease in homicides where we are this point in the year versus where we were last year. Talk a little bit about your strategy and what you think has led to this.
So I think that primarily it's just the intentionality of what we're doing, and like you said, the strategy. So what we've been doing is we've been focusing in on those high crime areas, tailoring our patrols and our set team, which they do the targeted enforcement into those areas. Also, the swift apprehension of a homicide suspect or a felony assault suspect to go ahead and get that individual in custody. That helps to reduce retaliation. Of course, that's also closure for the family, things of that nature, but it does impact crime. So us deploying officers to the right areas and also being very swift and intentional about the apprehension of those who do decide to commit crimes in our community, I think that's been having a lasting impact.
There has been a high arrest record. What message do you think that sends to people that are out there committing crimes?
I think it sends a strong message to let them know that if you do commit a crime in our city, you're going to be held accountable. You're going to be arrested. You're going to be placed in jail. And you got to pay fines, and it's going to impact your family. So it's a lot that goes along with that. Your property can be seized. So there will be repercussions if you choose to commit a crime in the city, and I think that's having an impact.
I know you've had some strong words kind of on Twitter. We've seen it, you can run, but you can't hide, and other phrases like that. Why do you feel so strongly about this?
Because of the men and women that I work with every day. They are extremely passionate about serving our community. They work around the clock. They work their off days. They work after 5 because they know what the work that they're doing, it matters. It matters to the families. It matters to our community. And it matters to us as police officers. That's what we're sworn to do. So it's very rewarding when we're able to actually catch the bad guy, when we're able to speak with a family and give them that closure or that peace that, hey, this violent person is off the street and won't be able to reoffend.
Last year, we broke the record for homicides, but this year, we're at the lowest we've seen since, I believe, 2019.
Easily.
What do you think that says to the people of Birmingham about what the work you all are doing?
I think that says to the people of Birmingham, to our community, that we're laser focused. One of the things that, when I got into this space, I was interim chief in January. And, as soon as I got here, and as soon as I got placed in that role, and when that year turned, I wanted to send a strong message to our department. And that was to every officer, get locked in. We're not gonna have a year like we had last year in 2024. We're about to shift this. We're about to make this community safer. I mean, Birmingham, I grew up in Birmingham. I love Birmingham. And it's a safe community. But because of, the actions of a few, and yes, we did have a difficult year last year, it was very important that we came together as a police department and we showed up for our community and essentially taking our streets back.
When you stepped in as chief, what did you know that you wanted to change about your leadership to make this shift in the culture?
So I really wanted all of our officers to feel supported out of the gate, for one. I wanted to equip them with all the equipment that they needed, the technology that they need to be able to do their jobs, because I wanted morale to be lifted. I want them to feel supported, because when people feel uplifted, supported, heard, seen, they're gonna do a better job and they're gonna have a better work product. So that's one of the main things that I wanted to do, is support them and then also hold them accountable. So, I say 2 things when it comes to our personnel. I want them to feel supported and be supported, and also we will hold them accountable. And people can understand when you're holding them accountable, because you're simply asking them, hey, just do your job. That's all I'm asking you, is to simply do your job that you're compensated for and that you have, agreed to do. So I think we're seeing the results of that. More than anything, when people feel supported, they're happy and they're motivated, we're seeing the results of that.
Now, while violent crime as a whole is down, we are seeing an increase in property crimes. What do you have to say about that?
It's just a crime trend. Sometimes things go up, things go down. So what we try to do is, when we do identify a trend, we want to deploy resources to those areas. And we have to look at, the different ways that criminals, want to maneuver in their criminal activity. So it's a cat and mouse game. So when they come up with some new tactic, we have to study it. So there's always going to be just a slight delay between what a criminal does and what law enforcement does, what we do. But as soon as we identify that trend, now we got to go ahead and go study, do the research, look at the data, and see what we can do to counter that. But we do try to be on the predictive end, but we won't know until somebody commits a crime, so we'll always be moderately playing catch up, but we do try to look at the trends.
What's your plan moving forward to try and address property crime?
So again, doing a deep dive in the trends. So our biggest problem last year was homicides. And I did a huge deep dive with my team to identify what's going on, what's the style, manner, things of that nature. And we've been able to address that. So we're gonna do the same thing with property crime. We have prioritized homicides. There's no question about it. But however, we do see the trends with property crime, and it's not a huge uptick, but it's a slight uptick in our property crimes. So we're looking at some measures to see the manner in which, the time in which people are committing these thefts, the manner in which they're committing the thefts, and the theft rings, where it's a coordinated effort amongst various criminals that are working together. So we're looking at all of that. We're conversing with our partners in other areas and agencies to see what they're seeing as well, so that we can come together and try to get these numbers down.
What are your goals for the next 6 months?
Goals for the next 6 months is to continue the trend that we're seeing with the decrease in our homicides, to also continue the clearance rate that we've had that's been hovering around 80%. We're gonna keep trying to make sure that we keep that clearance rate up. And then also, we are going to lean into the property crimes. We've already started the stolen vehicle task force, where we're working closely with Jefferson County to address the stolen vehicles and auto thefts. But we're also going to look at these property crimes and just see if we can identify any trends, time frames, things of that nature, and encourage the public. Make sure you lock your doors. Make sure, if you have the opportunity, put a tracking device in your vehicle. That helps us as law enforcement to be able to quickly find that vehicle. Most vehicles nowadays have like OnStar or some type of GPS location. If you're in an accident, sometimes it'll even call 911 for you. So if you can add some of those things that are relatively affordable to your vehicle, in the event that it is taken, law enforcement will have that edge. We have to be just as savvy as criminals to be able to go ahead and find the individual that actually took your property.
You talk about needing help from the community, which kind of leads me into my next question with the Woodline shooting. You all are calling for more witnesses to come forward. Just kind of talk to me about where that investigation stands and what you all need.
Yes, ma'am. So, it was very unfortunate that happened. I mean, Woodline Day and a lot of other high school days have been going on for years and years. I've attended Ramsey Day. And it's just a good time for the alum to fellowship, cook out, reflect on, the yesteryear, if you will. And it's just always a good time. But unfortunately, just a select few, I don't even know that they were actually Woodline students or from the Woodline community or not. I don't know. But they chose to have a confrontation near and around the Woodline festivities. I'm thrilled and I'm happy to say that we have 4 people in custody that have been charged. Those individuals were caught within hours of that shooting. Now, it didn't come out, publicly, because we're always doing our investigation and things have to go through a certain protocol, but we had those individuals in custody within just a few hours after that shooting. And I'm also happy to say that there were 4, we just arrested another one today. So you'll be seeing that later on as it relates to the charges and the individual that was involved in that. So our investigations don't stop with our first arrest. We look deeper to see any and everybody who was involved and assisted with a crime, so we can hold them accountable as well.
With those now 5 arrests, how are witnesses still needed?
Well, they're still needed, just in the event that they, we'll get statements from them, things of that nature, or any evidence that they may have. Sometimes everybody's on social media, everybody has a recording device, things of that nature. Sometimes the public will submit those things, and they can do it anonymously to us so that we can give those that evidence to our detectives, so that they can have that in preparation for that case to go to court.
To have 4 people in custody in connection to the shooting within hours of it happening, what does that mean to you as police chief?
It feels really good. As police chief, you would love to be able to try to prevent every crime, but the fact of the matter is you can't. So the next best thing is to be able to not only just catch the individual that committed the crime, but to do it in a very swift manner. You don't want them to go even an hour after they've committed a crime free. If someone decides to break the law to harm the community, they need to be in cuffs as soon as possible.
What do you want to tell people at home if they're nervous to go to their community day or something like that, just because of the fear of what could happen?
So yeah, so we have several more of the high school days that are coming up. We've had Huffman. Huffman has had a great time at theirs. I know theirs is coming up on this Saturday, on tomorrow. We partner with the community. We're partnering with the school board and the Huffman alum. We will have police officers out there. It will be a safe event. And if something does happen, you're gonna have police officers there ready to respond. So to them, I would say continue to enjoy your alum days, whether it's Huffman, whether it's JO, whether it's Ansley, whatever it is. We're not fearful of criminals in Birmingham, okay? One of the main things I said when I got in this role is we're gonna make the criminals uncomfortable in Birmingham. So enjoy your day. You'll have the support of the Birmingham Police Department. And yeah, just have a great time.